Australia's rental crisis has deepened, with national vacancy rates in August falling to just 0.9%. Once renters have found a place to live, they then have to deal with steep rent increases. In some cases, renters receive 2 letters from their landlord, a rent increase notice, along with an immediate eviction notice. So the renter has to choose, do I pay the extra rent or do I find a new home? Philip Stempion reports.
Earlier this year, Amy Croft was hearing stories from her friends that their rents were being increased. Then her own landlord lifted her rent by 10%. And then she received an email she never thought she would get.
I got an email from the real estate agent just saying that the lease is being terminated with no reason and I have to be out by the 1st of December.
It's a situation that the tenants' union is becoming more and more familiar with.
We see cases where people are offered the rent increase notice and the eviction notice at the same time and told to pick one. And that really puts a huge amount of pressure on someone to accept the rent increase that's being put in front of them because they are going to lose their home if they don't.
And the New South Wales Tenant Union is seeing rents across the state increase on average by $45 or 9%. In the last few months, rents in the inner city CBD area have increased by 10%.
And so we get into this situation where people are desperate, they're offering extra money, they're offering rent well in advance to try and get that edge, to try and secure a home for themselves and their family. And that creates some really distressing and upsetting situations for people.
It's a situation that Amy has seen in her own search for a new home.
As I was inspecting one place, and it was a place I applied for and got rejected for, there was a guy pleading with the real estate agent. He was quite desperate. I think he was new to the country. He's come from South America or somewhere. And he was like, I put in an application. I'll offer more money. How do I offer more money? I just need this place. Please let me offer more money. So you can kind of see people getting just more desperate.
So what are the factors driving rents around the country? The simplistic answer is supply and demand.
First of all, we're starting to see the population grow again. International students and migrants are coming back. At the same time, we've seen a lot more property investors sell up than buy over the last couple of years, and that's dramatically reduced the total number of properties out there available for rent.
According to property data outfit SQM Research, in August, residential vacancy rates fell to 0.9%. The last time vacancy rates were this low was in April 2006.
I think that with the closure of the borders, rental vacancy rates would have actually risen, if anything, given the ongoing supply of new properties, but they didn't. They fell and they've fallen dramatically to levels we have not seen in a very, very long time.
A driving factor behind vacancy rates falling is landlords pulling their properties from the market.
We note that in the city of Melbourne, for example, there's currently more properties advertised on short stay accommodation websites than what there is for long-term leasing. And we're not talking about just holiday homes here, we're talking about your standard suburban home now being more available on these short-term stay websites. So that's definitely driven down the availability of stock in the long-term leasing market.
So why would landlords pull their property from the market when supply is so tight? President of Australian Landlords Association, Andrew Kent, says hostile legislation is to blame.
Changes in legislation are impacting not only on the returns for landlords, but also significantly impacting on the risk. So what we're seeing is, for instance, the Queensland government's just put through some legislation that means that your land tax in Queensland as of next financial year will be calculated based on what property you own throughout Australia, not just the property that you own in Queensland. So that's one example of what we would call some hostile legislation which is causing landlords to leave the market.
So what is the solution?
We need supply of genuinely affordable housing to really ease the pressure on all those people looking for a home at the moment.